Good evening. Nigeria is a special country. We love Nigeria. And the media is always in the centerpiece of looking at or analyzing how Nigeria works. Well, today we are laying emphasis on a smaller segment of the media that is as volatile as can be. Just imagine PMS petrol, yeah? You know, when it says something is volatile, they say highly inflammable. But in this situation, we're looking at cartooning as a social commentator. And from this particular book, Laughter in the Mirror, is an editorial cartoons by Asukwo. Is it Ekpenyong or what's it? Etim Basi Asukwo, okay. And this is a comical narrative or narration of Nigeria's political and economic experience. I'll just make it, if they can zoom in so you know what I'm talking about. Now, this book is going to form the basis of what we'll discuss on our program tonight. So, Mr. Asukwo, welcome.
Thank you.
To the show. Right. Cartoon, what is cartooning first?
Yeah, most people see it from a different perspective.
Yes.
When you say cartoon, most people, what do you think about is, I think about comics. You are thinking about animated figures. And so, but there are different genres of cartoons. We have the comics, we have editorial cartoons, and we also have, pot shot. So generally is about, expression, how some images are used to express, events, around how the cartoonists feel about the event around him.
Somebody said a long time ago, I think it was the time of Boye Benro, because he had Kenny Adams in Boye Benro, Jide Ogunbade Joe, and so many, Osazuwa Osagi, so many of them. But somebody said, once they put that pen on paper and they just pour out their thoughts, the whole story is, compressed into one small comment. And that's what I'm seeing in in your cartoons here, which is what informed our decision to pick you up. What inspires you to pick a story and tell the story in one picture form?
Yeah, first of all, I look at the subject matter, how it affects me as a person, and how it affects me as a Nigerian.
Yes. And
then I look for a perspective that I know will be more generally when people think about it, and then okay, I'm thinking on behalf of the people.
Yes.
And so so based on that, I will now create the imagery around the subject matter.
So it creates an imagery. What I just see is probably, okay, there's this 100 billion story that is going around now, and I can't help but just bring that up. I expect that in the next 24 hours, something should come out, right? What does that title, how does it resound in your head that government is negotiating with the West African sub-region, ECOWAS, 100 billion over 2 years to, agree with the herdsmen to sheath their sword so that there will be no kidnapping, no fighting, just for peace sake. How does that strike you?
Yeah, I think for one is absurd. It's not. You will not even believe that that's what we should be discussing right now, considering the fact that we have somebody at the helm of affairs that we consider is a general, someone we expected to lead the battle from the front, and so it's very consistent with what we actually thought of him. And so, if I'm looking at such thing, I will have to look at the inconsistency, the absurdity, and then in all of that that is where the humor is, because you are looking at we are asking terrorists. Okay, we call them bandits now. Please don't do this. We'll pay you for not doing this. But that is not actually the first time it has happened. The governor told us that he paid alien is not to kill Nigerians. So you see, it's still about the absurdities. It's still about this.
And that actually does not help clear or eradicate the crime and the problem.
No,
It doesn't.
So it therefore means that for you to make it in Nigeria, you must have to work on your violent part. That the violent part of you. So call yourself maybe call yourself a killer, and then people will start looking at you. People will start taking you serious.
Okay, we're going to start showing your cartoons one after the other, so we'll comment on them one after the other. I'm dancing to the statements I'm making because these are ones. For example, say, Sergeant, I hope the next campaign will not be bring back our soldiers. Ooh, that's a powerful one. And in the cartoon, they said, this way to Sambisa. And there are 2 trees blocking the way to Sambisa. You've never been to Sambisa?
No, I've never been.
You visualized it from your head.
Yeah.
And that comment, Sergeant, I hope the next campaign will not be bring back our soldiers. Instead, of course, we know, bring back our girls.
Yeah. When I want to step out to do cartoon, I try to look for a perspective that is unique. Are people looking at this thing from this angle? Are people talking about this from this angle? And so where we were all about bringing back our girls, there were some people that we totally forgot. Who are those that we expect to bring back the girls? The soldiers. And then I thought about it, and I said, what is the fate of this? How prepared are the soldiers? How equipped are these soldiers? How are we taking care of these soldiers that we are sending out to Sambisa that we understand is about 8 times bigger than Lagos or more? And so we are pushing these soldiers into, this was far back as 2015.
Okay.
And then, and a lot of things happened after then, to prove that cartoon right, because we started losing soldiers, in the forest. So at the point we actually were saying, bring back our soldiers. So that cartoon was done.
It amounted to reason
so
to bring back
So
our
we
soldiers.
actually started saying, bring back our soldiers. So because I saw that there was a time when we would start, because at that point, we took our mind off the soldiers. We were all concerned about bring back our girls, but we were not concerned, who are those who are going to bring back these girls? The soldiers.
The same soldiers.
And then they went in there and we started losing them. So I saw that there might be something that will happen, and it's something that happened.
Do you get reactions from high quarters, from the public, some of your cartoons?
Yeah, when of course, the cartoon is quoted in humor, so people first of all laugh about it. But the idea is that in that laughter, we should be thinking. We should be, thinking about the core message, in the cartoon. So a lot of people reacted to that cartoon because I actually, directed our attention to one area that we seem to have forgotten at that point in time.
Yes.
Because we're talking about the girls. Of course, it was important that we talk about the girls then, but what we seem to have forgotten then was who were those people that were going to bring these girls back.
So you were actually bringing to the fore the fact that, yes, the girls are in danger, they need to be rescued, but those who are even trying to rescue them appear to be more in danger. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, they were not equipped enough. How prepared were these people that we want to go and bring the girls? Considering what we saw of Boko Haram at that moment.
Yes.
How the kind of weapons they were using, the kind of intelligence that that was that it was obvious that they were having access to. So I started having that fear that our soldiers will also be in danger.
Now, some of these cartoons, they can be very strong. There's one here, I hope they can get that right. This Kung Fu man, his leg is high in the air, and there's this, Boko Haram, I think it is.
Yeah.
He has a turban and nothing. Then he has an AK-47, and he says, Oga Shekau, they send this one to fight us bare hand. And then somebody is reacting from away from the picture, said, maybe they are saving the bullets for their firing squad. Ooh. Where did you get that sharp thought from?
There were so many things happening at that moment. There were so many things happening. It's still about the soldiers. It's still about the level of preparation that that I felt was not enough at that moment for the kind of task that the soldiers had in their hands. And so I was looking at that, and I was also looking at the fact that because of this, some soldiers protested, and some that protested were court-martialed. The dilemma that a soldier, found himself at that moment, you fight, you lose your life. You don't fight,
you will be court-martialed.
You'll be court-martialed.
So between the devil and the deep blues.
Yes, and then they went out there to fight with the weapons that could not match the way.
So, how then do you question, for example, the rationale behind the decision to say, if you don't fight, you'll be court-martialed? Anyway, if you fight, you're a soldier, you could die.
Yeah.
So that's part of the oath. Now, what about the justice behind what you are saying? Because if they are being killed and it's as a result of poor weaponry, who is being held responsible?
Yeah, I think
you haven't done any cartoon to that.
I think we've been struggling with that for a
Yes.
while. When we had the question of Dasuki and a lot of other people that were called into question,
Yes.
whose action were called into question because of money that were meant for the soldiers. So it's something we're still battling up to today. We're still having those issues because the soldiers are still complaining of lack of proper weapons to fight.
What do you think of governance generally?
Yeah, I think that there are more cartoonists in government than we have in the media houses.
Say that again. More cartoonists. Why do you say that?
Yeah, because most time when some people will just talk and you ask yourself, do they really know who they are? That we are looking up to them. We are listening. That the world itself is listening to them. So sometimes I just feel that some people just want to make Nigerians laugh. Maybe you look at these people are frustrated. Maybe they just need some things to learn. So you give them some comic relief because certain things that happen, certain statements that come from the mouth of a government official shouldn't be.
Would that be as a result of poor research or information management or what?
I think to some extent they take the populace for granted. I mean, we've never reacted. We have never said no. It should not be like this. No, so they just believe that what would these people say? What after all? So they can just come out to tell us, they say those things. And sometimes I used to wonder what happened after they said this. Probably they just go back home and say, hey, I don't give them today. I don't.
I think they must they must get a feeling of embarrassment from that. Okay, a very recent one again is my good friend, I should say, Dr. Chris Ngige, saying that there were enough doctors in Nigeria. And statistics have always shown that there are not enough doctors in Nigeria. So, again, the public reacted. It trended for so long. You were quiet. No, you were the one that made the cartoon that made it trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. What prompted you to say that? To put the cartoon out?
Yeah, because first of all, if most things I do cartoons about are things that annoy me.
They annoy you.
Yes, I mean these are annoying. So in that annoyance, I try to find the humor because that is what I believe would help me, contain, the feeling, and so I need to find a way to express it. I know there are so many people out there too with feeling the same way, and they need something to, sort of, help them manage that situation. So I think that humor does that better than any other thing. And so if you can find humor in those kind of situations, you can survive any situation. So when he made that statement, I was asking myself, was he really talking to Nigerians? Was it like a joke? No, but first I needed to find out, so I listened to the video myself, and truly he alluded to the fact that, Nigerians, we have enough doctors, and the surplus can always go and abroad, to greener pastures, and.
But he's a medical doctor. He ought to know that that was not the correct information.
I think maybe he saw himself as one of the surplus doctors. Because I know that even where I live, there are women who sell or this traditional medicine, who are like who visit some homes like normal doctors. In fact, some of them even wear lab coat.
Yeah.
So that some people on the street even have their numbers and they call them in terms of emergency.
So which means these people they don't have faith in the orthodox medicine doctors.
They can't afford. They can't afford. Some can't afford it. So some can't afford it. And then apart from that, also because of the ratio of doctors to patients in Nigeria, you also have to wait. And there's always a long queue where you have to wait to see a doctor. So if you are in a hurry, or maybe if you you have to also consider, time is going to take me to go to the hospital, the process of buying a card, seeing a doctor, and then so most people will they will just go for the agbo.
Okay, right. We're going to just go on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to now dig further into the society. You have this one, the Nigerian plebeians. There's one that said, the president is quietly dealing with the Fulani headsmen. We've dealt with Fulani before. And there are other questions, the shock treatment and all of that. We'll be back after the break.
Make your event a memorable one with captivating and well-organized event center at Lagos Television's prestigious Blue Roof with a capacity of more than 3,000 seats and a fully air-conditioned 750 seats combo hall capacity. Suitable for annual general meetings, government functions, exhibitions, religious activities, wedding ceremonies, burials, musical show, and many more in a well-secure environment. Spacious car park, uninterrupted power supply, and impeccable facilities. Take advantage of all of these at affordable rates.
For inquiries, please call 0808-252-8742 or 0802-282-9898.
Lagos Television Event Center, a tasteful event center for your delight.
Soni Irabor Live is focusing on cartooning as a means of social commentary, socio-economic commentary, or political commentary, because it tells the story with few words and just a small stroke of the pen, the picture. So as we discuss them, they will appear on the screen, we'll talk about them, and then, in fact, you're free to call anytime. But I still want to know what's in the mind of a cartoonist, and tonight we have Mr Asukwo. So it's just EBA. But wait, so EBA, that would mean that as a cartoonist I can say Eba and make your name from, yeah?
Which was why I had to bring the A forward.
Asukwo, Abe, Abe. Okay, all right. Yeah, but at least I got a comic relief from me. Now, let's look at the country, the people. We've been hitting at leaders. The people themselves, Uncle, are they that easy to rule? Are they that easy? Do they obey rules and regulations? Do they even, simple laws, they don't. So, you are from the people.
Yes.
You also must mirror them. What do you see?
Yeah, we are now we can say that it is actually difficult to handle the people. But if you look very carefully, Nigerians are not very hard, to manage.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
You go tell me, prove it to me.
You see, if you go to a state where things are done well,
Okay.
we discover that the same Nigerians, will follow the rules.
Yeah.
If you have to keep the place clean, the place will be clean. So you actually see people return money every day they find in the tax and all that. And then if for instance, if there is light in their home for 3-4 hours, they will start celebrating. They will start saying up Nepal. So it's so easy to satisfy them. Actually, it is easy. So so I see that most time leadership is a problem, because you see leaders display clear case of impunity, and then when the followers say, oh, this is possible. So that is why somebody want to go, maybe you want to go and buy things in the market, and you put them in a bus, and you know very well that on your way you have to display to police what they are carrying,
yes,
and all that. So what do? You look for a police officer, and then put him in front of the vehicle.
So
and then you can go, if no matter what they are carrying in the bus, you can go anywhere.
Okay.
So people take advantage of those things happening.
This is another one here. Can you explain this one?
Okay. So you can see the people that the police should actually be going after, people that the bullets are meant for. But then then the bullet has passed all of them, and then it's one innocent.
So this is a stray bullet.
Yes. And the stray bullet always have a way of avoiding big people, avoiding criminals. It's always getting to innocent people.
And there have been so many cases like that.
Many cases of stray bullet like that.
Asukwo, Nigeria is volatile, but Nigeria is easy to manage, you said. Why is there a disconnect between the leaders and the people? It appears, I'm not saying there is a disconnect, it appears there is a disconnect.
Yeah, there really is, because I think one is that for right now, there have been different, the leaders are taking advantage of the way we are now, because we are seriously polarized,
and that should not be a leadership issue. Leadership should encourage unity.
Yeah, to carry.
You're getting polarized.
So then you can now take advantage of them. So if you are looking for a political position, post, you come to people and say, oh, you're now saying it is our turn, and then making the people feel that they are included in that hour, But meanwhile, you are just you are disguising personal interests and making it look like something like that is for a public good, and so they are that way so that they are more malleable. You can use them. You can, if the people are hungry, you can easily use them, because with some little incentive, like what they now call stomach infrastructure, you can get the people to do what you want them to do. So the way the people are now, they are very, very useful for the leaders.
For the leaders, but it's now also the turn for the leaders to be useful to the people. Okay, we have a call out now. There's a cartoon. This one, yes, helicopter, canoes, and houses in flooded areas. Excuse me, what's your reaction to this one? This was your thoughts.
Okay, I was thinking about the way we go about raising. That is, it's all about IGR, where the government must make money.
Okay.
So we are dealing with multiple taxation, and if you see somebody that's just trying to set up a small business, is taxed from every corner, And then in all of that, even in that situation that he finds himself, he still has to pay. No, for instance, there are some places you go to, you need to be carried from one point to the other, and you have to pay for it. So we're talking about the way government look at these things. It was a place where a government of some government officials, drove in buses, they flooded streets, and they were more concerned about collecting dues and levies from the shops, by the road, by the side of the street.
Even where the streets was flooded.
It was flooded. And you ask ourselves, should it be so? Because with the condition of this street, these people, definitely it will affect the businesses on the street.
Yes.
I think what the government should do first to make sure that the street is passable.
Yeah.
So when the policeman is asking you for, okay, is your car roadworthy? You should also ask the road itself, is it car worthy? So
was that you? I saw that. The cars, the roads make how did you put it again? The cars are roadworthy, right?
Yes.
So they have to be. But is the road car worthy? Is that your question?
Yes, that's the question.
When you drive through a 17-lake road, how many lakes with potholes and everything. By the time you are at the other end of the wink, the upholstery, it's not what do you call that? The chassis begins to crumble and complain.
Yeah.
All right, what about this one? It said somebody getting ready to retire after 8 years of hard work, and it's a bed of money.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
At the point, the governors were very ready, were very comfortable using the state, some policies to further their nets when they get out of power.
People and infrastructure. We've been talking about that. Now, let's look at how corruption is fought. You've done some things on corruption. But do you see corruption as a one-sided thing, or everybody is involved?
Everybody's involved.
So when you say everybody, who and who?
Everybody. I mean, the way we are structured, even the way we are structured generally, gives room for people to take advantage of the loopholes in our policies.
Is it the policies or the enforcement of the law?
Yeah, yes, even in enforcement of the law. If you're looking at the enforcement of the law itself, we discover that the problem of the people is that you feel, there are some people that should not be touched. Because there were some people that were not touched the other time. And so we keep saying that, we keep creating excuses for these same people that that we consider are part of our problems. And then we start creating excuses for them. So the whole fight about corruption, like I said in one of my cartoons, that we should be concerned about the corruption in the fight against corruption, because that is the only thing that will affect the result that we'll get.
Okay, let's leave politics aside and let's look at the economy. Now, banks are very powerful. Same banks have no money enough to fund the economy. So they depend a lot on government. And private sector is suffering because there's not enough going around. The SMEs, there's supposed to be some money somewhere, but not enough even going around the SMEs. So there's not enough to regenerate a progression where the wheel is well oiled. Who is enjoying this economy and who is suffering it? Isn't it obvious?
Yeah, I think
How do banks elsewhere work compared to Nigeria?
Yeah, I think one problem we have in Nigeria is regulation. The regulatory agencies, I think they are weak, because if for instance, if you have a problem as minor as being debited, at an ATM, without getting catch. We discovered that, look at it, it should not really be any problem. It should not really be something that you need to lose any sleep over, you know. But then, here in Nigeria, for some banks, we need to, you know, start going to the bank, filling forms. Sometimes, as maybe for 2 weeks, we are still going back to the bank. They're telling the same story. But the day they're going to say that they're going to get that thing done, it will be done in minutes. You know. And
so,
then,
which means there's an unnecessary delay in the
process.
process.
In the process. So you discover that when all these things are the way these things are done, it makes it very hard because. But if you want to take this thing up, you discover that thing could be done, sorted out in a day. So where are those people that are supposed to regulate and, you know, watch over us?
But if you don't report to the regulators, they will not know what is happening.
They will not know what is happening.
So the people need to show enough strength of character to report. Isn't that?
Or to enforce the rule. Okay, there are supposed to be some kind of penalty.
Yeah.
You know, for maybe non-compliance. That's how we're supposed to do. You're supposed to maybe refund money debited within 24 hours, and then
because that's supposed to be the law, right?
It's supposed to be the law.
In some cases, that does happen, really.
Yes, it does happen, but in most cases it doesn't. And then you ask yourself, so you now have to go through the process of, you know, using maybe call credit to call customer care, and
so in fact you are spending extra money to get something that
get your own money,
you.
and then beyond that, you know, we also have to look at what people suffer for that little problem.
Okay, there's one cartoon on the screen, and this one is the nurse, somebody in bed, hospital bed, yes. And a picture. Is that a picture of a doctor or of a what?
Well, if you look at the cartoon completely, the patient in hospital is actually Nigeria.
Okay.
You know, over time, the patient is in Nigeria, and then doctor is supposed to make his normal round, and then he's not there, but he sent his pictures.
The nurse brought the picture of the doctor for the Nigerian patient. That's Nigeria.
Nigeria, yes.
That's the country.
Yes, that's the country.
If he sees the doctor, he'll be well.
He'll be well. So.
Oh, abracadabra. Okay. All right. I'm enjoying this commentary, but I'm also thinking of the deep end of it all. You know. Do people respond to your cartoons? Maybe some of these things may have struck a chord that will require your management to say, hey, tone down. Or certain quarters are not happy with this. You know, have you been castigated or advised to mellow?
Yeah, I think what business management understand is that they have come to understand that the way the cartoons are supposed to be the way cartoons are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the way so sometimes they might be acerbic, sometimes they might, but then it's ridicule, but without malice.
Wait. You use the negative when you say without malice. Okay, ridicule me, but not with any malice.
Yeah, we don't have anything against you, but we can make fun of you. We can make fun of we can.
You have nothing against me, but you make fun of me, and I'm not supposed to be unhappy. I think there's a double-edged sword, really. If I feel you're not telling the truth about me, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, but that is one important thing because my cartoons are well researched.
Okay.
You know, I make sure that I don't sensationalize.
Okay.
So, and that is what has been keeping me going all this, because you will not call to say.
Good evening. How are you?
Hi, sir.
Good. Where are you calling from? What's your name? Thank you.
I so much love the program.
Thank you.
You know, the problem we are having in Nigeria is that we don't obey our law.
Okay.
So in everything we are doing, if we can aspire to obey the law of the country and to know that what is bad and what is good is good.
Okay.
Let us appreciate, at least our leaders are trying. But the problem we are having is that we don't obey the law. And the police themselves, majority of them, I don't know if it's lack of education.
So you are saying...
You cannot be a policeman and you are begging in a street or begging in a room.
Okay. I think what he's referring to here is the people and the leaders are suffering the same consequence, right? Did you get me?
Yeah.
That the people are as guilty as the leaders. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, you got what he said. You know. So, what is your reaction to that?
Yeah, I think it's right to a large extent. We are all the people. The leaders themselves were part of the people.
From the people, yes. Yes.
So it is still the same mindset. It is still, most of them too are struggling with, they are battling with everything that we are battling with. It's only that they have now seen an opportunity of actually sorting out some of these problems. And so most people will now say, oh, like if you go to some grassroots, the way they get this pulled into maybe into campaign groups, always, oh, look, it's our turn. Yeah. And so don't worry, when I get there, you'll be taken care of. So
meanwhile, you're not taking care of me now. But what happens when I try to reach you thereafter? Many of them complain that, okay, he makes promises, but when it does get there, he doesn't even remember that I exist.
Of course, a friend in government is a friend lost.
Yes, but talking about reaction, apart from the people that you are generally aiming at, maybe policymakers, what about the public? What's their response? What's their reaction?
Yeah, the action has been quite tremendous.
Yes.
People call, especially I'm active on the social media platforms, and then so most time people use my cartoons to start a whole lot of conversation. And then so people actually discuss deep things surrounding the cartoons, and from perspective that in most cases I don't even think of. But the cartoon will generate a ton of thoughts and narrative around it, around issues that affect all of us in a way that maybe some other normal maybe column will not raise that.
What's your background?
I studied fine art.
Fine art.
Yes.
Okay.
I majored in sculpture.
Okay. Fine art, sculpture, cartoon.
Yeah.
Have you done exhibition before?
Yes.
Where?
In sculpture, I've done a couple of exhibitions, but group exhibitions. I've never done
solo.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you to DD Museum to do a solo exhibition. Let's look at the sculpture bit. Is it a bronze work, clay, or wood carving?
Yeah, I do a lot of fiberglass.
Fiberglass. Okay, that's another discipline actually.
And then concrete and
concrete. That reminds me of Greg Agbonkonkon. Are you from the same place? Do you remember him? No, you may not know.
No,
it's much older. Okay.
Okay.
You went to which college or school?
Yaba College of Tech.
College of Tech. It looks like that's the place all of you come from, right? Even Sir Victor Webo is also from there as well.
Yes.
And he's also a sculptor.
Yes, he's
plus a musician. In putting your works together, do you feel sometimes you don't feel the inspiration? Do you just go ahead and do something? Or do you have time lapse between the time you do one work or another?
Okay, I when it comes to cartoon, I do cartoons on a daily basis.
Because that's your work, right?
Yeah, and so I do cartoon on a daily basis because, and beyond that, the inspiration, is right. Everywhere you turn to, people, things are happening, issues are happening, and then you just need to make, cartoon commentaries on some of these issues. before they get cool.
Yes.
One, because Nigerians, we tend to forget easily, and so the cartoons I do will help to nurture our memories. It's okay, just let this has happened, and once in a while you look at them again and say, oh, this has happened before.
Then you know.
So we know that we are just in the way we are moving in a circle.
Okay, it's time to go now. This is Laughter in the Mirror, editorial cartoons by Asukwo Etimbasi, okay, from Business Day. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I've so much enjoyed it that I said, no, I'm not going to encourage calls, but I'm glad that one or two came in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm going to look at your works, especially the sculptured ones.
Okay.
Thank you again. And of course, for all of you out there, thank you for being you're my audience. Okay, they say I should look at you. Yes, you're my audience, and I'm supposed to ensure that I give you the desired results. And I hope that you've enjoyed a lot from this, because social commentary doesn't just end there. It's not by word of mouth alone. It's also by those little things called cartoon. Thank you. Bye-bye now.